Have you always been someone like people like you that have all these concepts? Have you always been someone that kind of like was processing things as a kid? Like you're looking at everything, thinking about it critically. Like, oh,
Yes.
why is it? Mm.
All the time, and then it help. Of course, it helps me with my art, but I'm always someone who's I don't do things because people say to do it. I don't do traditional things. I always ask why, and because I ask why, it makes me look at things critically. It makes me analyze things before I do it, and it makes me analyze why people are doing it. You know what I mean? Why'd you ask that?
Because I just like personally like with the podcasting thing, right? When we first started when I started studying the podcast game, and I would look at like a Joe Rogan or a Charlemagne or Andrew Schultz, I'm like, they have all these opinions because they look at the world very critically. Me personally, that's something I had to learn. You could ask Malcolm. I was telling like, bro, when we look at certain things, we need to be more critical in the way that we look at it. Because I think a lot of people just go through life and let information pass them by and never try to break it down. And that's actually
question it.
Yeah, and that's actually very beneficial when you do a podcast. Like, what am I bringing to the people? Right, I have to be a critical consumer of everything, including media, in order to do that. And I could just tell by all the concept and the ideas that you have that that's what you do. Else you wouldn't have all these different ideas.
And you know what, I think it's because I was allowed to. You know, because as a kid, like look at babies. They all, like toddlers always ask why.
Yes.
And we kind of lose that because we're told, yo, stop asking questions. Why are you asking so much questions? You know what I mean? Follow this, follow this, follow this. I was allowed to keep asking questions. I was allowed to be inquisitive, and it kind of developed as I kept getting older, and it became what I'm doing right now. And I can't wait to see what it's going to become. You know what I mean? It's going to be, next year it's going to be on steroids. Just
Word?
because, just
Come
like.
on.
We like the sound of that.
Like
we got to get you back in the studio
you know
next year too.
And I would love to come back too. Like,
yeah.
it just is, I just value important work, and that's just like if anybody who meets me or sees anything that I do, I just want them to understand that I'm trying to do something important, and I think you guys see that too. Like there's more than just me just trying to be the best rapper or anything like that. I don't care about that shit. It's all subjective. I just want you to learn something, and I live for the moments where I get a DM like, yo, I heard Boys Do Cry, bro, and I'm like, yo, that shit. I've been suffering from depression for the last 2 years, and I heard that. I'm like, yo, I need to cry. That's what gets me. That validates why I do this. You know what I mean?
And that's why I know you're going to be big, bro. I'm sorry to say, like you're going to be a star. Like I think for any artist, anybody doing anything, the most important place you could look at to see how you're being received is the YouTube comments. And when you go to your YouTube comments, it's shit. People like, yo, this like. Everything is, yo, this dude is next up. Yo, this dude, he resonates with me. Like, people love you, bro. And it's because the work you're putting out there is actually valuable to people. It's not, you, and that's, it's crazy how well you rap and how good the shit that you say sounds. And it's like, oh, there's so much meaning into it. You know who I liken you to? Dave Chappelle. Because Dave Chappelle is a hilarious dude, but it's so much content and so much positivity in that funniness.
And that's who I'm inspired by, like stand-up comedians.
Yes, me too.
Because comedians, they have a way, like the good ones at least, not the hacky ones that just tell jokes. The one that are telling truth within what they're doing, so it's palatable. And I think, I look at rappers that do it too, like Cole and K-Dot and Kanye, but it's so few of them that do it that I have to look at other inspirations to get that. And Dave Chappelle is one of those inspirations too. You know
He's one of my inspirations, so I've been studying him a lot lately.
Yeah, bro. It's like, yeah.
If I was to ask you if you wanted your career to be like one artist, who would it be? And I asked you that question because I think Childish Gambino is someone, that type of career where you can do anything, you're really good at it.
I would say like Childish Gambino, Lil Dicky, those guys, because I don't just rap. It just be like that. I don't just rap. So I want to do all the things that I care about, and not just because I'm good at it, but just because I care about it, and I don't want to be put into that box, which is why you'd see all this unique shit. You know what I mean? Because this is just how I think. And it took me a while to get like that too, because I used to just do things that other rappers do, but I'm not just that. You know what I mean? That's why I don't punchline it up when I'm rapping, because I know I could do that shit. Like, no cap, I'm better than a lot of rappers.
You be doing no, bro. You are.
That's
you know
a
what
fact.
But I can just bar every line, but it doesn't serve any purpose.
These niggas be capping every day like they Chance the Rapper. Like, look, when I heard, I'm like, golly, bro. Like, come on. Stop doing that.
But there's intention with it too. I'm not just saying metaphors just because, oh, this is like what rappers do. I'm saying it so you can like receive it in a way that it's like, all right, oh, one, this is hot, but niggas do be capping every day. Like Chance the Rapper. It will make you remember what I'm trying to tell you. Like the goal was to tell you what I'm trying to tell you, but I'm saying it in a way that you can remember it later on. Like while you're in the shower, like, oh, you know what I mean? like that's the reason why I do it.
And this is why
like slow burn.
When you do start getting your popularity, which is inevitable, your numbers are going to be crazy because your music has replay value.
Yes.
It's something that you want to, especially if you highlight, I might have to watch this 10 times. Like, and every time, I feel like every time you listen to it, there's kind of another level you could take out of it. There's something else you can realize,
and that's by design too, bro.
Yeah, like
I try to make it consumable, but not in a way where you can consume it and throw it away. You need to consume it a few times. No matter, even though it's 1 minute, there's a lot to consume, whether it's in the video or it's in something that I said or how I said it too. And the more that I keep doing that, on top of that, it helps me too, because then people will just like find one video and then just watch everything else, which helps with the streams, which helps with everything. But it opens people's eyes to just like different kind of like musical content that they're not used to, and that's something that I don't take for granted. I like being one of the people that people can say like, okay, music is going this way, but at least this person is doing this, and I can fuck with that.
Do you think where you work at plays a role in your visuals?
No, not really. No. I mean, it helps because it's not a traditional place, but it doesn't. No, not really. Like, what really like helps with what plays a role in my videos is just like what I watch, TV shows I watch, or interviews I watch, or just having conversations with people. That's what helps with the videos more than anything. Okay. You know what I mean?
Dope. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed the Piff Marti interview, man. Unfortunately, we are out of time. Honestly, bro,
I'll be back.
You will definitely be back, and I feel like we could talk for another 2 hours because we're just having a conversation.
Hopefully, next time I come here is when I have a little bit more time to stay.
Okay.
Because we only cutting it because press for time or other reasons, but.
It's so much shit. We didn't even talk about anything I have on the list, bro. And that's how you know when it's a good interview.
Yeah.
But thanks for coming through, bro. I think you're gonna be a star one day. And tell people where they can follow you on Instagram and all that good stuff.
Everything, you can follow me at Piff Marti, PiffMarti. If I were to suggest one thing that I would want you to watch, or a couple things, it's Boys Do Cry, Uni, and New Crib. Watch everything though.
Yes,
everything.
Definitely 4 years too.
In 4 years, just watch everything.
This should have been the first question, but it'll be the last question. How did you get the name Piff Marti?
Oh, so my eyes were low for my entire life, and my friend, he called me Piff just because everybody thought I smoked weed when I was 13, so they just started calling me Piff. And Marti came from my friend's name, whose last name was Martinez. So I'm like, this is a cool name, Piffy Martinez, and then I just shortened it, and it was Piff Marti.
Dope as fuck. Ladies and gentlemen, Piff Marti.
Thank you.
Good interview, bro. Julia.
Ever told on a nigga? No. Ever squeezed the trigger? Yep. Ever set a nigga up? No. Ever helped a brother out when he was down on his luck?